Hello everyone and welcome back to Let's Play Hattrick with me, Alpha Pi Omega and FC Pigneto. So, the first week of break is here and it's really fun because we are reaping the rewards of our labor, as they say. So, when you look down here, you can see that we have been awarded 175,000 euros in prize money for the position that our club has achieved. This is the lowest reward that we can get, but still, hey, free money. Our fans have also paid their annual fees, which is 54,090 euros. So it's starting to become a really nice amount of money. And then we sold our player, Celestino Veka, who has been sold to the team called Xarsi 1912. Okay, that's not an ideal... okay, so this is KSK Çarşı, then, because it's a Turkish team. So KSK Çarşı, which is actually a really high position team now that I'm looking at it. Not bad at all. Okay, so I hope that Veka will have a good life there. We sold him for 3.5 million. We got 3,327,850 euros out of that. And I've already started reinvesting that. We have bought our first new player, which is Uraya Aysen. Uraya Aysen is an Israel-born player, which is, as you can see easily from these stats, a really nice forward player. However, what's best about him is the fact that he's only 30 years old. He's actually been 30 years old 6 days ago, and thus he has a very good stamina, and we can only hope that his form is also going to improve. His scoring is 14, passing is 10, and he has a decent playmaking and winger of 5 and 6. It's not bad. The only issue that I have with him is that his set pieces are only 2, but the specialty of technical is going to be really good for us. Now, when you look at transfer compare, we bought him pretty much at the average. It's not really bad. And I'm hoping that he's going to benefit our team in the long run based on his age. Now, I've already kind of played with his position in our team. This is the current setup that we're going to use for a tournament match. You can see that instead of Veka, we have other players here. We got Sterna Parea, we got Bitis and Velan here. Parea is the one that has been promoted instead of Veka, but Bitis actually had his skill improved to 15 as well, so his playmaking is now titanic, and Velan has 14. So all these guys are actually pretty good. Parea is not bad. His winger of 8 is pretty decent. I'm wondering if we shouldn't... Well, if he made him play towards the wing, we would lose a bit of midfield and forward attack, but wow, our left attack would get a huge bonus. Okay, I think I'm going to keep him like this, to be quite honest. What if we moved you... no, that's not going to work. So, anyway, Parea is here. We got Aysen here, and we are using him as a substitute for Timon von Horsten, who is 37 years old, and his stamina is actually starting to lack. When we switch him for Aysen, you are going to see that we have a huge malus to all of our stats. 0.25 on each of the left and right attack, and 0.75 at forward or the central attack. So Aysen is definitely a better choice. Plus his stamina is much higher than Horsten's, so he can play an entire match without any issue. So this is what we are going to have for now. Now, I also have an eye on another player here called Fausto Farinha, who is an Argentinian player. You can see his passing is 12, scoring of 13. He has set pieces of 9, which is pretty good. We could use him as a striker for penalties. And again, playmaking and winger 6 and 5, defending of 5. He is selling right now for 2 million and no one is interested in him. I think that if we get Fausto Farinha, I'm gonna try to sell or boot our current player that you've seen a moment ago, Timon von Horsten, because he then has a very low effect on us. There's nothing he can do for us. And we'll use Kazimierz Sierucki as a backup. So Kazimierz Sierucki is going to be a player that we... Well, actually, no, we're using Horsten for 528. So I can just keep him as a backup. We can have these guys play in friendlies and these guys in league matches. And in case one of the main players gets hurt, Sierucki is going to substitute. And in case Sierucki gets hurt, then we would have, or in case both of the forwards would get hurt, then we would play with Sierucki and Horsten trying to substitute. But Horsten is not going to be with us for much longer. His age is really high. So getting two forwards for which are 30 years old will allow us to use them for at least a couple of seasons, say 4 or 5, and give us a huge boost in where we were lacking the most, which is scoring. The other place where we are lacking, and we've already discussed that in the last episode, was the goalie. But forward is outstandingly poor for us. So this is gonna be a quick fix to one of our weakest stats. And in the next season, mid-season, if we're gonna sell one more player, which would then be obviously our strongest player here, sorry, not defending, playmaking, which would be Zigor Bitis, we could sell him and use the money to get a really good trainee and a pair of goalies or an exceedingly good goalie. Because for now, our keepers are not bad, but they're old. Arturo Amoros has barely any stamina, and Arunas Panevėžys is dropping like a rock in all of his stats. So we definitely need one more keeper, and then we could keep Amoros as a backup, or we could get 2 keepers. But I would aim for someone like Amoros, but 10 years younger, which at this point, unfortunately, is a stuff of dreams. Because when you look at keeper with at least magnificent stat and around 30, gonna quickly notice that they are selling for quite some high pricing. Now, for example, Maciej Dzierziak here would be a prime candidate for us. We could use him. We could even try to get someone like Tom Maston, but that might be a bit of an overkill for us. I know we don't have the money. But yeah, someone like Maciej Dzierziak would be great because his form and stamina is really good. He's just 31 years. I might even go for someone younger slightly. If we went for purely for let's call it 27 to 30. Would there be a chance to get someone like that? Well, there's, for example, Fusini Serigba here for 3.6 million. Yeah, so that would be a player for a player. Or Kaspar Kochi here, 2 million. That would work. But that's stuff for next season. For now, we need to improve the scoring. With that boost, I think that we're gonna have a chance to get better results this season. And then next season, with the money we are going to save up throughout the play and through the rewards, hopefully, and the sell at the end of the season, we are going to get a keeper. Now, I'm not spending too much time on speaking about the series because nothing is happening. Joey Nevadice, unfortunately, it turns out lost their qualifier. Yeah, 3-0. So they're with us for another season. That has to be frustrating as hell. How bad was their stats? Wow, they actually didn't perform very well. That's interesting. 352, 278. I think we performed like 278. They were playing... Yeah, this is not their stadium, right? Yeah, so they were playing away. And... Well, but still, I would have hoped that they would get promoted. Because 278... I mean, we had 283 in our last match, so they probably played it cool. And maybe the guy is not interested in getting promoted. Maybe he enjoys the rewards. That would make sense. I mean, he's having quite a lot of money coming here. He is having quite a lot of fans. He's getting the seasonal rewards, so that might be even smart, trying to stay here for a couple more seasons until he builds up. It's not an entirely... idiotic idea thinking about it. Well, okay. Well, still, we get 2 new incoming teams. Chihafato Paulo and Grizzlybear SF. So both of these were promoted from the lower season. Let's see how they performed in their last matches. Grizzlybears, not bad. Okay, so these guys might be a bit better than what we've encountered before. What about you guys? Okay, so you guys are much worse, but still, we'll have to keep an eye on these new teams. You never know how they're gonna go. Now, there's one thing that remains to be said also, is that because we moved Parea to the A team, we now have a gap in the B team. And that is something that we need to think about, because when you look at our age, or the age of our players, we got Parea now playing in the A team, Omar Bellone is playing in the B team, Casimir Wabush is playing in the B team, but then we have pretty much no one that can be there. So I'm thinking how and what we're gonna do with that. I mean, I could, for example, put Diego Arnau, because he's a really good winger, and we could boost his playmaking skill as a temporary trainee. Or we could do something like Massimo Galbe, who is not bad, he's our home player for, and it's a bit of his mother club. Is that the way? Mother club, yeah. So we could just train him, and that's the question. Depending on how much I'm gonna buy Fausto Farina for, if at all, we will be left with something like 400,000 euros. So if that happens, I can still go out and I can search for someone, some trainee. Someone very, very young with good defending skill and a specialty, NA. Let's call it at least 8. And see if we can find someone who would be worth training for a season or 2. I don't think for 400,000 we have a chance of getting someone who would be a big boost to us. But we could, for example... Well, like Lorenzo Salonna. He's quick, he's very young, has a high defending skill. So if we train him for a couple of seasons, he could eventually become a really good trainee. But we'll have to be really temperamental, sympathetic, yeah. I mean, it would be a downgrade to our trainees, to be quite honest. So it's a question whether or not we want to just focus on improving some of our own players. Alternatively, I was even thinking, because... if I'm not mistaken, the forwards that you get are giving you a bonus to your midfield. So training someone like Uriah Eisen in playmaking for a couple of levels might actually be a good idea. Or, as I mentioned, we do have a bunch of fairly young players who are not being counted for, and we could, for example, use Massimo Galbe, he's 24, train him for a level or 2 during the season, and then sell him, because we were using him as a winger, in the B team. So, or we could actually train some of the wingers. That's also a possibility, because we'll have the option now. We'll have a free spot. I haven't really made a decision on that, because some of the wingers that we have, Diego Arnau or Edvard Michelin, who is the back wing. Well, there's a lot of people who could benefit from playmaking, really. So I have to think about it. I'll have to think about it, what we're gonna do with it. But the world is our oyster, as they say. I mean, there's nothing happening right now. We have a week and a half ahead of us. Right now we're doing poor for the money. That's the issue that we'll have to we'll end up dirt poor after this season break. But if we get to extra forwards, I will be happy. That's going to be a huge boost to our performance. Then, as I said, keeper in the next season. And then we're pretty much done. We can just save up money, look for A-level players, for example, 5-6 million in 2 seasons, which would be a huge benefit for us. Someone like a playmaking player who would have huge stats, and we could even make him better. That would be something like something that I would really like. But the team is coming along nicely. We are performing very well, and it's going to be just a matter of how we're going to move on from here. So I'll see you in the next episode with the information whether or not we got Fausto and whether or not we get some training, or if we have alternative ideas. I'm gonna, by the way, end this by speaking about the tournament. We're actually still doing pretty good, which is making me really happy. We dropped to 1185th place. So, we got defeated a couple of times, but still, this is a huge improvement. I think we've ended up 3,000th. And the fact that we won all of the initial matches, and we still have one here coming. So, I don't know. I can't really complain. It's pretty good. Pretty good. So, fans, we made it above 1800. That's making me happy. Their mood is gonna mean that we're gonna get way more additions, 20 or 30 until the season starts, which is great. The staff is fine, the trainer is fine. Things, generally speaking, we are really doing good. So anyway, thank you very much for joining me. I'll see you in the next episode, and till then, you guys take care.